Now, can you tell me why did the advertised documentary not appear exactly?
How special were these paintings?
You frame the question like it's something of the past, like it's nothing more than a mere publication as part of an isolated history book in the midst of some local library, or as some part of an enchanted tale that my teacher would tell her grandchildren, and then somewhere along the lines of her posterity would be lost and forgotten, or even worse, lost in my imagination, which quite frankly doesn't mean anything to anybody unless its contents can be extracted and criticized. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be abrupt, but these paintings are real. They're tangible works of art. They weren't special at some point, but I'm in no place to judge my own work, obviously. But if someone somewhere at some point thought that these paintings were special, then they still are.
Boston police are still trying to figure out how 3,000 dogs ended up in the Boston Common overnight. Later this week, a short documentary will be airing about a high school painter who's gone through some life-changing experiences due to the fame his paintings have brought him. Here's the trailer.
How the hell did he make it on the news?
Bro, by owning the biggest collection of Louis Vuitton wallets.
Really? That's a plot twist.
No, you dumb fuck. Bro, that's because of us. That's the trailer for the documentary that's gonna air in a week.
Doesn't deserve that shit. Doesn't deserve to be on television. Why?
Bro, I don't know, man. All I know is that I don't want to see that dude on TV. Bro, we gotta do something about this. Come on, man.
I was probably about 15 years old, and I sort of realized that love and romance was really important to me, more so than really most people I know, and this is where it all started. This is another one of the early paintings that I made, and this is really where my ideas sort of started to formulate. I sort of just thought I need to express how love is so hard to find, how it's so elusive, like a floating balloon that a boy tries to chase, and this is really what it came from.
Red and blue.
Now all we need is white. We'll show them what America is.
What does that even mean?
It's foreign, right?
Bro, the fact that his last name's Olsen does not make him European. Pretty much every American last name is European.
Nah, man. Not every last name is European. Olsen, that's European for sure. But Johnson, that's American.
Yo, take it right. Bro, every American last name comes from Europe. That's how our country started.
Maybe. But at some point during history, last names became more American than European.
Bro, so when was that point?
After the Civil War. Every country needs a civil war to become its own country, because it ends in an agreement.
It seems like these paintings have an intrinsic, tangible meaning to you. And I'm sure you've had to think about this question in light of the recent events, but how much are you willing to go through for these paintings?
to some people, these paintings can seem like a spark of imagination or a display of grace, reflecting my delicate artwork, or even the opposite, unslightly shallow or hasty artwork, but, that's not what these are. I think they're more than a representation of my ideas. I'd say they're like a reminder of my reality. Everything that exists to me is in my mind, and I'm an introvert. I don't talk to many people, but pretty much everything I experience stays in my mind, and painting is how I express that to the world. These paintings they're an assurance of my reality.
So you're saying people need to kill themselves in order to become independent?
Yeah, conflict leads to resolution. A resolved country is its own country.
I'll just remind you that the Civil War did not end up for us at all. Why do you think we're doing this right now?
So the question is, right? How much am I willing to fight for my reality? Is that one of yours?
I don't think so. Let me go check.
No! No!
My bad. That was reflexes.
What do you mean? Who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know.
Alright, let's get those paintings. Damn. Who are you? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Bro, what the fuck? I just killed some. Oh my gosh. I just killed. Bro, I know, bro. Trust me. I know, bro. Hey, I know it's bad. Brandon, we gotta go. We don't have that much time, bro. Come on. Hey, listen. Okay, let's get it. We got this. Okay. Alright, let's get these paintings and get out of here.
These are probably worth something.
Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Local Spotlight Chestnut Hill. Today I am joined with Krister Olsen, a local famous upcoming painter who was mentioned last week in a recent documentary trailer. So, what were the first changes you saw in your life?
when they first announced it at school, my art teacher first announced at all school meeting that 2 of my paintings had been sold. You know, she kind of praised my work ethic, especially my patience, and that was really the first time in my life where like I felt really rewarded for something that I worked really hard on. You know, they put up posters. There were posters all around the school, and people were sort of conversing about me, and you know, I finally had some attention. You know, at first people were great. They were congratulating me on, you know, my paintings and how much they loved them, and they were wishing me luck on, you know, my work in the future. And then there were other people, and they sort of reminded me that I was still a weird kid, and I guess they got jealous and they took it out on me, and pretty soon what started as the breakthrough of a dream became another nightmare down the road.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That must have been so hard for you. Now, can you tell me, why did the advertised documentary not appear exactly?
I mean, it was a surreal experience. You know, I didn't know Colin that well, but you know, for him to be interviewing me one minute, and then you know, I heard the gunshot and the body and the blood, and it's not a memory I like to recollect very often.
Right. I'm so sorry. So we invited you to talk about your recent experience. During the filmmaking of this short documentary, Krister, what happened in the middle of the shooting?
Yeah, so Colin went to the door, and you know, I looked out the window and I saw these 2 familiar figures standing there, and you know, I immediately recognized them as the kids who bullied me at school. So you know, I assumed that they were just overwhelmed with animosity and jealousy and decided to take it out on me. I don't know. Keep in mind, this was around the time where the trailer for Colin's documentary had first aired on local news. Anyway, so I heard them come in, so I acted quick. I grabbed a bunch of blank canvases, and I threw some paint on them really quickly. I just like threw some color on them, and I opened the window and I threw out the paintings, and I added a hat to make it seem like I had jumped out. And I guess they bought it because they jumped out too, and they deemed the paintings to be worth something. I mean, God knows how, but they did, and they left.
How incredible. Here is the picture of 2 captured by Colin as he opened the door with his camera in hand, pointing to the pair of burglars who are now spending some time in local prison, doing community work and going through anger management services. We will be back shortly after this quick commercial.